Good morning. We have been looking at the Ten Commandments and we're going to continue that today. We're looking at Exodus chapter 20 verse 13. We're going to think about the sixth commandment. In some versions it says, "You won't kill," or "Thou shalt not kill." And in other versions it says, "Don't commit murder." You might be wondering why I'm walking along this morning. Well, we're going on a bit of a journey, because let me tell you right from the start, I don't think there are any easy answers, straightforward answers to this particular part of the Bible. One of the problems is that in chapter 20 it says don't kill, and then in chapter 21 it says that anybody who does kill should be killed themselves. So it seems a little bit difficult for us to understand. It might help if we understand that the word that's used in the Old Testament, particularly in the commandment, is slightly different. So a normal word for killing is something like harag, and the word in Exodus chapter 20 is ratzak, which means kill or murder, rather than just ordinary killing. So if you look at it from that point of view, we could perhaps say that the sixth command in Exodus is don't murder, which gives a different take on the whole situation. But as part of our journey, it would be wrong of us just to try and brush over everything, wouldn't it? But at the same time, I'm not sure that in a short reflection we could go through all of the different questions, all of the different aspects of, well, what does the Bible really mean about not killing or not murdering, and what are the consequences if somebody does that? Clearly there are a set of rules in the Old Testament, and some countries have decided to implement different sets of rules if people murder other people. But then you would come into the whole thing of, well, is war okay? Is it okay to defend your country or to fight in a war? And I'm sorry, but I'm not going to get into all of that, because I think that's something that you as an individual need to think about. Surely that's the whole purpose of having a time of reflection, where you can take some time for yourself and think through these situations, as difficult as that might be, and maybe draw on other parts of the Bible or other parts of your life experience to help you to come to a conclusion, to come to an answer that might make sense for you in your situation. We know we're living in very strange times, and this pandemic has taken a lot of people's lives. But I'm not sure that we should or even can start trying to pin the blame on one person, or start trying to say, oh, that person, that government, that decision caused murder to so many people. I think that would be very wrong and very difficult to try and quantify. But at the same time, if we're thinking along those lines, let's think about a whole world of ethics. The big questions about, well, where does blame lie? Where is it that we can draw a line and say you are responsible for murder, or you caused an accident which resulted in somebody's death. You can see, I'm sure, that the journey would be very long. And as I'm doing the short trip from the place where I live to the place where I work, we haven't got that long. So I think what I can say to you is the Bible is clear. Don't kill. That's the commandment. But that can and does open up a whole lot of other questions for us. So I think we need to just think about that actual command. Don't kill. You might think, well, I've never killed anybody. I've never done that. Thinking about the next few commandments is the fact that maybe it's not just about the action, it's not just about the physical side of doing, but maybe it's about how we think, how we feel, even how we respond to other people, and what we should do with those thoughts, those feelings. Somehow linked in with you shouldn't kill, we seem to have almost adopted Jesus' command from the New Testament that we should turn the other cheek. So if somebody hits us, if somebody hurts us, we should just turn the other cheek and not retaliate. But maybe one of the things that we could think about as we're on lockdown, rather than try and blame other people, is to think about how we respond to that. Because the question is wider than just, well, it's about me. Because the Bible also tells us that we should call out and defend the oppressed. We should fight on behalf of the people who are downtrodden in our society. So if somebody has been attacked by somebody else, should we just stand there and say, bless you, brother, turn the other cheek? Or should we intervene and do something about it? And that attack might be physical, and that's appropriate to respond to that perhaps, but it might not be a physical attack. It might be attacks of different sort. It might be oppression of different sort. Really, as a Christian, we should just say, oh well, this is what the Bible says, and that's it. Think about that.